Hello guys and welcome to a brand new video. Today I'm here with NieR Automata episode number 21 reaction. So the previous episode we had the machine life forms attacking Pascal's village and A2 protected Pascal's village and everything looked kind of okay because things were looking good. Pascal came brought in a few weapons like Gatling guns and stuff, and things looked okay, but then suddenly the machine life forms attacked again, and this time it was there weren't enough to stop them and the whole village was in ruins. In the end, they had to evacuate to the resistance camp. While all of this is going on, NieR is also fighting his own battles. He's going to those tower things and like defeating the enemies and stuff. And there he gets to know a few things about like the whole machine life forms, that they are keeping a track and keeping tabs on humans, on androids, and stuff like that. He got to know, and he got to know a few other information regarding that. So that's what's going on over there. And NieR is slowly losing it. There was a section where he got almost reverse hacked and all his memories about 2Ds gets almost gets erased, and like stuff like that are going on. So all those things happened. A2 is to fight a big Goliath, she had to bring in go into her berserker mode and fight, but it wasn't enough. But in the end, Pascal comes in, and Pascal apparently hacked into another Goliath, and now he's here to provide backup. So that's what happened. So let's see what happens in today's episode. Also, I mentioned this in the previous video, but I have been playing this the game again, like replaying it from the week before the previous week. So it's like been like 2 or more than 2 weeks I've been playing it, and finally I have been able to complete it again. I've played the game again, and now I know everything, I remember everything. And I did this especially because now that we're at the end, I want to compare which direction the anime goes and which direction the game has actually went. So now that I am fresh, like I know what has happened in the game, it'll be easier for me to do that. So yeah, that's why I remember quite a few things now. So I just want to mention that. So let us get started. This is episode 21. I'll be putting the subtitles and the timer here. Sync it whichever is your preference, and let's begin. Okay, here's the countdown. 3, 2, 1, go. Right, here we go. Ooh. Oh, yeah, I remember this, obviously. I just played the game, so he had to fight using the Goliaths. Yep, damn. Wow. Wait, he snapped the head clean off. Damn. Oh, yo. Wow. That is crazy. Hmm. Okay, one thing they changed in the anime, like I was talking about this in the previous video. At that point of time, I still hadn't reached this part in the game, but now that I've completed it, I know exactly. So yeah, I was right. The whole Pascal's villagers fighting, that wasn't in the game. What happened was A2 reached their village, and the village was already in ruins. And there's another difference which I didn't catch in the previous video, but now that I've played it, I know it now. This is another thing that they did. They don't go to the resistance camp. They go to the factory, the first part of the game. Like with the remaining like children that are alive, Pascal goes to the factory. So here I think they mentioned or A2 told them to go to the resistance camp, didn't she? So that's another difference, I think. So, like, now the question is, like, I know what's going to happen now. Are they going to go in that way? Because there is an option, there is a choice here in the game. I wonder what they're going to do with that. Like, which choice they will go with in the anime. There's a big choice is going to come after this in the game. So, you know, I'm very curious what they're going to do about that here. All right, here we go. Oh, resetting her? Yeah, I think like rebooting her. Hmm. Wow. Damn. Yeah, you almost blew me away. But you know what? What the? What the hell? Oh my god. Oh god! Wait, what? Oh no, he. Oh god, this person, hello! Okay. Right. So yeah, this is the. Okay, this wasn't in the game because the machine life from children were in the factory. Oh no, the red warehouse. So. Oh, that warehouse, okay. Oh no! Guys? Is he infected? Stop! Oh no, 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 he's infected. Are they? No, what's happening? Wait, this isn't logic virus infection. What is this? No, it is. Okay. Oh my god, it is. Oh god. Oh my god. Oh boy. Is he okay? Oh, he also infected. It shot him before he could spread it to others. Oh no, what in the. Okay, this is just. I was thinking, where's Jackass? There she is. I was wondering where she is. Oh, Popola and Devola's here as well. All right, hopefully they can help. Yep, they can help. It still hasn't been. They still haven't been that much infected. Yeah. Yeah. I saw like one of the kids, the machine life from kids actually had like red eyes. Hmm. Yeah, you cannot do anything. Yep. Oh boy. Interesting. They went in a completely different way than the game, which makes sense because in the game, the kids were in the factory. Hmm. Damn. Double grenade. Hmm. Ah. Hmm. Leave this place. I guess. No, no, they have a more important mission later. Yeah. Damn, that's crazy because if you know Devil and Popula's story, it's just so sad because their whole existence is. Oh boy. Right. But there's still one thing that, even though I've played the game, I won't know because Lily wasn't in the game. I wonder what's going to happen to her. Right. Oh, here's the other one. What the? It's gonna kill him. Yeah. Right. Oh, it just fell on top of him. Damn. What the hell? Oh my god. They did okay. In the game, you can find this. Just okay, I'll talk about it later. Yeah, this wasn't in the game, but it was oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, he got all three. Now he can go to the tower. Oh god, yeah. It's just. Oh, Lily's still alive. Is she infected? Oh no, she's infected. Oh god. Oh god. I thought maybe because she wasn't in the game, they're going to keep her alive. No. Oh boy. Damn, the similar situation with 2B. 2B, yeah. Oh boy. Well, so it ends the same way. Yeah, it's literally the same result that happened in the. Oh my god. But there's a subtle difference. I'll talk about it later at the end. Damn. Oh, he didn't know how to wind it up, and he was under a misunderstanding. Damn. Oh. Oh my god. Okay. Right. Okay, so I have a lot to talk about. The ending, the way this ended here. I prefer the way the game went with this. Like this is okay, but like obviously this is sad. But I'll talk about it at the end. Oh, is that Jackass? Yeah. Oh my god. Hmm. Yeah, he got all through. So what the hell? What? Yeah. The main tower is open now. Special prize. No man's village. Here we go. The pods are talking with each other, sharing information. Yep. Yeah. Oh, the whole infiltrated meat box results on tower launch device. Seeking details and mental state. What is the passcode? This is difficult. Okay. Hmm. Has been declining. Hmm. Okay. Well, I have a few things to talk about after this because this went in a completely different way than it did in the game. I'm actually glad that I actually replayed the game again and just completed it because I've forgotten everything. A lot of these like differences I wouldn't be able to get. But since I've recently played it again, I know exactly what they changed and how they changed it, and I can talk about it now. So Okay, let's see. Like now I think we're back on track again. Like it kind of deviated a little bit, and I was thinking if they're going to take an anime only approach or something, because it actually deviated from the way the game was going, and then now suddenly it's back on track again. So I think the ending will still be the same. Maybe they'll add something extra, who knows, but the thing will be the same. That is it. If you remember, they kind of said it in the previous video that those ending scenes will be stopped. And I'm guessing in replacement of that, we're going to see the pods talking to each other and sharing information, which is important because, this plays a big role for the ending. Like this, the pods talking to each other and everything. That's why I think they cut off the last section to include these, which is a good idea, I think. Right. Okay. So today's episode, like I said, I was really curious how they're going to do this because they actually completely deviated from the game, how it was going, and genuinely thinking that maybe they're going to make like a new type of like like development or something are going to happen. We kind of deviated for a moment. Now we're back in track again. So what exactly happened is, where does the deviation start? So this is what happened. Here, like I said this in the previous video, that Pascal's village, wasn't attacked in the way it was in the game. Here we can see A2 already in Pascal's village when the attack happened, so she could help them. You know, that wasn't the case in the game. In the game, A2 was on the way when Pascal asked for help, and A2 goes to the village and sees everything destroyed. Now Pascal comes in. Pascal says like, "Oh my God, what can I do? Everyone's dead and this and that." And he was like lamenting everything, like like the destruction. And then he saw a few children still alive, and he's like, "Oh, thank God you're alive." So a slight deviation happens there because in the anime, A2 was there. Then that's why they were able to protect it the first time, but then they attack again, and this time they fail. So it kind of deviated for a moment. Then we're back in track again. But then the deviation happens again. Here, in the game, A2 tells Pascal to go to, or I think Pascal tells, I don't remember the particulars of it. They go to the factory, the first section in the game, the factory where A2 came in and A2 and NieR met, and like they fought the Goliath. That factory, So Pascal goes to the factory with the children. While here in the anime, Pascal was told to go to the resistance camp. Now, why did they do this? Why did they change it like this? Probably because in the anime there is a person called Lily here. Because we needed to focus on Lily and bring Lily's story to the end. That's why they deviated it. Because I feel like they could have easily, like in the anime as well, they could have easily been like, "Oh, go to the factory." But they didn't do it because they decided to integrate these two. Since Lily is in the anime, it's only an anime only character, she wasn't in the game. They needed to bring her story to an end. To do that, they decided to send the villagers, the children, to the resistance camp. And this is where the big deviation starts again. Since in the game they went to the factory, again similar things happen. The Goliath comes in, they have to fight. Pascal gets control of another Goliath, and they fight, and Pascal defeats that Goliath. But the big difference starts here. Pascal goes back to the factory in the game to see what the children are doing. Pascal and A2 goes back, and they see that the children have killed each other. Not each other, but themselves. So a big deviation here, because in the anime, what happened is, as we saw today, since they were in the resistance camp, they had to do something which would wipe out the resistance camp members, and bring an end to Lily and the machine life forms. How did they do it? They decided to make one of the kids infected. And since he was infected, he infected all the other resistance camp members. Lily survived by the end, but A2 comes in and finds out Lily has also been infected. Jackass is dead. Everyone is dead. So that's what happens. And then when Pascal goes to the children, he sees that one of the children is infected because the music box apparently broke, according to him. But obviously it wasn't broken. It just had winded. you know but that, that kind of made him susceptible, I think, and that's why he got infected and spread all the infection to others. Now, since he was infected, he fed on everyone because of fear made him, I guess, more susceptible to the infection, and because of that fear, to so that everyone can stay together, he decided to kill everyone and eat them. That's what happened. Now, obviously the main theme and the main core is still the same: fear is the main theme or the main core of this whole section, because in the game, when Pascal goes back and sees that the children have actually taken their own life, he realizes that because he taught them fear, and obviously Pascal wasn't there, Pascal was fighting outside with A2 along with A2. So because of that fear existing, all the children, they thought that taking their life is better than surviving, and fear was the main reason that happened. And this is where Pascal laments the fact that why did he teach them fear, because fear was the one thing that ended up taking their lives. Also, a big thing happens in the game that wasn't in the anime. In the anime, we see Pascal lamenting about that, and he takes out himself along with the remaining child, and they die together. That wasn't in the game. What happened in the game is Pascal gives you a choice. That was what I was saying. I was like, I wonder what they're going to do about the choice. In the choice, Pascal tells you that I think he gives us 2 or 3 options or something. First option is, wipe my memory out. He says that I cannot survive like this. So A2, please use your pod to wipe my memory out, and maybe then I'll be able to survive, or kill me. Either of it, wipe my memory out or kill me. So that's what happens. Now, I do know that there's actually a hidden third option here as well, which I got to realize later after reading a few of the forums. So basically the hidden third option is neither of it. You can just leave. So and as far as I know, this isn't really a spoiler, because here in the anime, Pascal is dead. So I think I'm fine to share this with everyone who haven't played the game. What happens if you wipe out the memory, as far as I know, is that Pascal, the memory is clean. It's it's from clean slate. He starts, I guess, anew, and he probably forgets everything. He's just there, at the ending of the game, you just see he's just there amongst the the broken remains of the machine life forms. He's just there, looking at the sky. I think that's what happens. If you kill him, that's it. There you go. And if you just leave, I think he just disappears. Nobody knows what happened to him. So I have read in other people talking about this, and how other people said that machine life forms follow a pattern, that they will eventually do the same thing that they have done before, and relive the same things and do the same mistakes that they have done before. That is the machine life forms. And that is why people have theorized that at the end of the day, if you wipe out Pascal's memories, Pascal will literally do the same thing again. He'll make a village, he'll probably bring in more machine life forms, take care of them and everything. And then someday, if a disaster like this happens, he's going to do the same thing. He's probably going to teach them about fear as well. And there's a big possibility that everything will end the same way in the future as well. If you keep his memory, wipe his memory out. Something like that. I think someone mentioned. So that is the full story of Pascal and the whole situation, and the deviation that the anime went with. And the main reason why they went with this deviation is obviously because of the resistance camp members and Lily. Because I remember in the game, Lily wasn't there. There was Anemone. Lily wasn't even there in the game. So I remember the resistance camp wasn't really a big focus at that point of time. So that's why I guess they could kind of do it like that. And I don't know, I feel like this was fine, but I feel like I kind of prefer the games version more, where the children actually were like fearful of what, like, their own existence was going to happen from here onwards, and that's why they took their life, because it's way more creepier. Because just think about it, machine life forms taking their own life because they, like, got, they learned about fear. Here, however, they just got infected, and they like ate each other. So, and also the fact that you're actually given a choice in the game about Pascal, what you do with Pascal, but here Pascal just blows himself up. So I don't know, I kind of prefer the games version more, but I can understand that they had to do this, because like I said, if they didn't do this, I feel like they would have had trouble to conclude the resistance camp story. How would they conclude it? So they decided to integrate both at the same place and wipe out both of them at the same time. This is how they did it. I guess that's why this deviation was necessary here in the anime. But I kind of prefer the games version more, like the way that whole thing happened. Also, another very important thing here, it's crazy how they decided to like, Lily said, like, Popola Devola, you both of you leave, because your support, like, androids, you can help the other androids out. This is very important because Popola and Devola play a huge role later, so they cannot actually kill them. If they kept Popola and Devola here in the anime, in the resistance camp, they would have died. So that's why they did this. Like, I just realized, because in the game we don't really see what happened to the resistance camp. Like, like, we just get to see that they all died, and that's it. Like, everything is over. So since they kind of showed it here, over here, what happened in a proper way, they had to do that with Popola and Devola. One thing I kind of appreciate here is, like, I really like the fact that the characters actually have more character in the anime. Like, I love the fact that we actually see Jackass interacting with people, and in the game Jackass was actually a jackass. If you her name was actually true. She was a jackass. She talked extremely rudely to the androids. She had a huge, like, like a haughty way of talking. She was extremely overconfident, not overconfident, but she was like stuck up, like, really, like, she actually spoke like a jackass. She was true to her name. But here I really like this version of Jackass, where we get to see her being just a goofy character and just, like, this kind of a person. So I love that fact. I also love the fact that they paid more attention to the other characters. For example, Lily here, we had no Lily in the game. Lily in the game we had Anemone, but Anemone didn't really get as much like, focus as Lily got in this, here in the anime. Another thing I really liked is, again, more character, I guess you could say, to the commander. I think they call her Commander White. I think that's what her name is. Then we have 21O and 6O. These three characters have way more, I guess you could say, character here in the anime, because we see them personally. In the game, they just, yeah, we in the game as well, they also get quite a bit of focus, but you get those focus if you do the side missions. If you don't do the side mission, if you're the type of person who does the main mission, they never get that much focus. One of the side missions in the game is finding the lunar tear. I think that's what it is called. And here in the anime, they literally show that to us. Like, like 2B finds it, and 6O talks about it. In the game, you have to do a side mission for that. If you don't do it, it's not there. It's just gone. Another side mission related to 9S and 21O is where 21O gives 9S quite a few missions back to back to go and figure something out about the late, like, about what happened before. And she figures out what family is and that people live together, and she was very fascinated with this. That's what we see here as well. They showed it to us directly, where 21O talks about family, and you can get the hint that she looked at, like, like, at 9S as her family. And that's why when she got to know that they will be fighting and 9S will be in the front line, that is the reason why she decided to become from an operator model to a battle model. She became 21B to come and fight, just so that she could help 9S, probably because she looked at him as her family. So that's another thing that in the game we just played in, like, side mission way, nothing much, like that's just that. So I like the fact that they kind of highlighted that, and like we get more character for these characters, because these are the few characters that I really like in this show. Like the operators, both the operators, the commander, like like then we have Jackass, Lily, and all of them. All of the side characters are very very nice. I really like all of them. And the backstory and everything. So all of these things were what how the game went, and I can talk about this because I actually replayed it again. I wouldn't be able to talk about this in such detail if I didn't, and I'm glad that I replayed it again. Now I think I'll be able to talk about, like, the anime, and maybe compare this to the game and talk about the differences way more in detail. You know and Yeah, so I feel like they did a good job here. Like they, like, even though it kind of deviated from the main path, it still went back. But like I said, I don't think they had any other choice. They had to change that whole Pascal situation, with that. But I kind of prefer the game version because, like I said, the game version makes it way more creepier and horrifying when you realize what happened to the children and what they did. Because they got to know about fear. So yeah, that's the whole situation here. Another difference here I forgot to mention, um, the tower, the third tower that we see here. um, 9s, this wasn't in the game at all. So 9s finds 2b's aircraft in there, and 2b's message plates. This wasn't in the game at all, but it was in a different way. You actually, this is very interesting. When you, after 2b's death, when 9s goes back to the flooded city, over there is a place where 2b's plane aircraft crashed. So if you go there with 9s after 2b's death, 9s can find the aircraft on the site, and if you go and interact with it, 9s is like, oh, this is 2b's aircraft, and then this message plays out, like this message that 2b left for 9s, it plays out. So they decided to integrate that in this manner. Again, I really like the fact that they decided to include, because these are all missable stuff in the game. You can actually miss them. So to make sure that these are not missable in the anime, they decided to make it, to integrate them in this way, which is quite good, because I never would have expected them to include that. But I'm glad that they included that, because this is very important, him finding out the 9s's aircraft. So this same message plays out, and obviously 9s is sad, but here we see it in a different way. Also, fun fact, in the game you can actually control both 2b and 9s later on in the final, section. Like you can just switch, like you can either do 9s's part completely or do A2's part completely. Sorry, why did I call her A2? 2a, 2a's part completely, or you can just switch. So, like the game time kind of gives you, like, tells you that the pods tell you that, oh, which one do you want to control now and then. What I did was, whenever they told me, I switched. Like if I was controlling 9s, I switched to A2, vice versa I used to do. So because of that, there's also a possibility you can come to the same place in the flooded city with 2a and find that aircraft. And this is where 2a looks at the aircraft. She realizes that it's 2b's aircraft. Wait a minute. Oh my god, I'm mixing. A2. Did I call her 2a? Sorry about that. A2. If you come to the flooded city with A2, you can find the aircraft and you interact with it. And I think A2 says something like, oh, this is for 9s. I better not play the recording. So she refrains from playing the recording because obviously, as a way of respect, because 2b left it only for 9s to hear, or the other Yorha members to hear. So that's why she refrained from playing it. So that's another fun fact. So I like the fact that they included the aircraft in that manner, which makes it, because that was missable. That was a whole missable thing. In the game you can completely miss that. If you don't go to the flooded city or don't explore properly, you can miss that completely. So they included that here as a, in the game as well, in the anime. Right. And obviously the Lily section was completely, that never happened in the game because Lily wasn't even there in the game. So that was that. So these are all the differences and the way they decided to change and integrate it in the anime. So, right. I'll talk about Popola and Devola more because I want to talk about them, but I will talk about them later in the future episode reactions because I feel like now it will be a spoiler, not really a spoiler, but they still have a role to play. After their role, after we see more of them, I'll talk more about them. But that section was very interesting, not interesting, but it was kind of sad to think about, where like Lily tells Popola and Devola that, oh, you guys did a good job, like you guys did, and they were like all thanking them. It's crazy because if you know Popola and Devola's story, like should I you know what, I'm going to refrain from talking about this because I feel like there's a possibility they will cover this in the anime. You know what, when that happens I'll talk about it, but I have a few things to talk about Popola and Devola, and like, and their past. So which kind of, if you know what I'm talking about, you'll realize that how that scene is so important where everyone thanks them. So I'll talk about it later, not now. I think they actually might cover it in the anime. There's a big possibility they will, and I hope and they should. Because I feel like that is very important. Anyways, right, and there you go. That was today's episode. Also, the final section with the pod stalking. Again, the pod stalking and sharing information is also a very important thing that I'm glad that they decided to include, because again, I would have expected them to completely skip that. But then I guess they couldn't really skip it because the pods sharing information is a huge part of what happens later. So they decided to like take out the final ending scenes that they were showing, and they decided to include these, where they are like sharing information, which is nice. Yeah. But either way, overall it was a good episode. But like I said, because the anime, it had to deviate a little bit. Like I feel like the game version of the ending of Pascal and the children were way more creepier and horrifying than that happened over here. Here it was more like like it had like a, what can I say? Uh, like, oh, we gave our all, we went out fighting. It had that type of a vibe to it. As we saw, everyone gave their all and they went out fighting. But in the game it is so much more despair inducing and just so sad to think about. Like, it's more horrifying. That's why I'm saying it's way more creepier and horrifying in the game when you go back to the factory and you realize the children just took their lives because they were fearful. That is way more creepier and horror inducing. Here, like, it's just like, oh, like, we gave our all, we kept fighting, at the end we died. And what happened to the children, where one of the children was infected, so they ate the others. So yeah, it still happened because of fear, but the way they, like, got, like, reached their end was so much more creepier in the game because of the way they went out. So yeah. And Pascal's end is much more sadder in the in that game, where, yeah, you can kill him, but like, if you wipe his memory out, then that's that, he's just there. And he has no idea, all these machine life forms children just on the ground, he's just there, he has no clue who they are. And yeah, so there you go, that's what happened. So that was today's episode, right? Okay, now that was that. Now let me talk about this episode scene by scene. In the very first scene, we get to see Pascal comes in with the Goliath, the bigger Goliath, the other Goliath, and he fights. Oh, this was also in the game. We have to control the Goliath. It was a fun little mini game kind of thing where both the Goliaths fight. So Pascal fights the Goliath and defeats it, and he did it in such a way, like, the whole place, like that, got blasted, and A2 gets blown and just like crashes into one of the walls, and yeah, loses consciousness for a few moments. But then after that, she wakes up again. The pod helps her to get up, and Pascal is like, I'm so sorry, like, and that's that. So yeah, and now they kind of intercept a radio transmission where Lily's asking for help. So that's that. And now in the resistance camp, you can see, since the children are over there, one of the children falls and the music box falls, and you can see he's like, the other guy was like, oh, here you go, and the kid takes a music ball and he's like, oh no, this broke because it's not moving. I'm scared. Yeah, and I started blinking red. And you can see here he says that I'm scared. So that was the little thing that was keeping his sanity to him, because it was given to him by Pascal, I think. Yeah. So it probably reminded him of Pascal and the fact that, oh, Pascal is there with me. But the fact that it broke, or it didn't really break, it just, the winding went out, but he didn't know that, so he thought it broke. So he was like, oh no, it's broken, I'm scared, because now he's having bad feelings about what would happen to Pascal and all of that stuff. And since Pascal taught them fear, that became a big thing. And I'm assuming, like, because he got scared and because of that fear, he got more susceptible to the virus. Now I don't know how the virus works, like, honestly speaking, I'm not really sure, but I am assuming because of fear he became more susceptible and got easily infected. um, Either way, right, that was that. And you can see Lily and everyone is talking about what to do, this and that, and you can see, like, one of them starts acting weirdly. That guy who gave the music box to him, to one of the to the kid, he falls down and he starts turning, like his eyes becomes red, and everyone is like starts doing the same thing. They starts going out of control. So Lily's the only one who is okay here, so they were able to run away. Lily goes back to that place, and inside that place where they're taking shelter, there as well the people are turning and they have to take their lives. One of the guys decide to take their own life before he spreads the virus to others, but it's no use, it has already spread. Everyone else is like acting like that. But then Jackass comes in, thankfully, in the nick of time, and Popola and Devola comes in. Obviously, since Popola and Devola are here, they can help them out. But we need to remember one thing: even though Popola and Devola can help them from the virus, if the virus goes in too deep, they cannot. They literally cannot do anything. Nobody can do anything. That's why 2B was, 2B couldn't be saved at that point of time. So, and these guys who got recently infected, their infection didn't go that deep. So that's why Popola and Devola immediately takes care of them, and everyone is fine over there. So thankfully they were able to stop the infection spread. But now the question is, what should we do? Like, everyone is outside, like, this and all these things are happening. They're like, we need to get out of here. But Lily's like, you guys go, I'll stay here, because I need to take care of my men, and I need to take care of, like, give them the end they deserve. Right. And they also get to know that it was actually one of the children who got infected. That's probably how it spread. Either way, that's that. So everyone else was like, nah, like, if you stay here, we'll stay here as well. So they only decide to send out Popola and Devola. And at first Popola and Devola was like, why, like, like, let us go with you. But they're like, no, you guys are support androids, you guys can save other androids life, you do your job, like, and thank you so much for helping. Everyone thanks him. And like I said, I'm refraining from talking about Popola and Devola because I think the anime will do that in the upcoming few episodes. When that happens, then I'll talk more about them, because I have a few things to discuss about them, especially because of this scene, and the significance of this scene where everyone is thanking them and they're like almost crying. It has a big connection to their past and something that happened to their past. So I'll talk about all of that later. Either way, they, like, then Popola and Devola goes away from there, and everyone is like, let's do it. Next, we move on to NieR. And like I said, this part is very interesting because this part wasn't there in the game at all. This weird little machine life falls from the sky, and he was suddenly like, oh, thank you for coming. And it wasn't there. I don't remember it. And especially then, like, when the tower comes in and he sees inside the tower it's 2B's aircraft, and 2B's like, recorded voice starts playing from there, the message that he set for NieR. But yeah, I mentioned this before. I like the fact that they included this, because this was a missable thing in the game. You can miss this. You can miss coming across the aircraft completely, and completely miss this part. So obviously this is very important in a more emotional perspective. So I like that they decided to include it in this manner. So there you go. I guess they could have included it on some other way as well, because if you remember, NieR did go to the flooded city to take care of the other, like, the tower. Since in the game the aircraft was there actually in the flooded city, I feel like they could have easily integrated that with that and kind of included that over there. But I don't know why they decided to do it in this manner. But it's fine that they added it. I'm glad that they added it at the end of the day. Right. So that's that, and you can see Ninus destroys the core, and then he breaks down crying. Yeah, and then after that you can see again A2 is going towards the resistance camp. Pascal is helping her go there, but then when she reaches there, you can see Lily's the only one left, and A2 tries to go towards Lily, but Lily's like, stop, like, it's over, I'm infected. So obviously they're like, what happened? At which she says like one of the children was infected. Pascal gets very scared and immediately rushes off to see what happened to them, while Lily is left with A2. And yeah, in the end we have an emotional scene here where like A2 refers, like, mentions her name that Rose gave to her, Phrygia, and in the end Lily was like, oh, so we are already family. So because they, like, family, they like give each other names, that whole thing, we saw that before. So then she says, thank you so much, Phrygia, now pull the trigger. There you go, that was that for her. Pascal goes and sees what's going on with the children. Everyone's dead. This child who's infected has eaten them, and he's still like there, like he can still talk, but he's like too far gone. So he says like he's scared of dying alone. That is why he thought that, oh, why don't I eat them, so everyone will be together. And this is where, and like I said, if he just knew that the machine, the music box isn't broken, if he knew that you have to wind it up, none of this would have happened probably, because like, I'm pretty sure he got scared when he realized the music box broke, and that made him susceptible to the virus. So if he just knew that, oh, it's not broken, it's actually, if you have to wind it, then none of this would have happened, I think. So that's sad, but that's what happened. And he now, and Pascal is like, oh, here you go. He winds it up and plays it for him, and he's like, oh, it's fine. Yeah, in the end he hugs him, and Pascal is like, don't worry, everything is okay. And he infects Pascal, and Pascal blows himself up along with that child as well. Yeah, and you can see in the end, you see Jacques is also dead. She has like completely half, cut his body completely out, her body, sorry. Yeah, and then to A2 put on the flower on Lily's dead body. Yeah, Ninus gets up, and the pod tells him that, oh, you should go to the resistance camp, get a little bit of maintenance, and he's like, no, what's up with the tower? And yeah, then the whole place lights up, and they're like, oh, welcome to the tower, you collected all the passcodes, the tower will now open, you have a great prize inside waiting for you. And yeah, A2 hears that. A2's on her way to take out the tower, so is Linus, and we all know what's going to happen. Both of them are going to meet over there, and Ninus is going to go crazy when he realizes that A2 is there. So that's where it is inevitably headed, like, yeah. So we'll see. And yeah, this is, we're almost at the end of the story, so I'm very genuinely curious how they're going to end it, because yeah, like, I love the ending of NieR Automata game. I really hope they I don't think they can keep it that way, because it's a game. The game had a choice system, and it was very, very, like, interestingly and a very clever way it was implemented, that you cannot really do that in an anime. So I'm genuinely curious what they're going to do, so yeah, let's wait and see. And there you go. All right. And yeah, that was today's episode. What's interesting, like, I don't know when it was, but all throughout, like, most of the part of me watching NieR, I was completely under the wrong impressions, that I thought these resistance camp members were all humans. So when they got infected by the logic virus, and when they broke their hand off, and like those wires are getting out, I'm like, wait, are they androids? And then later I realized that they aren't humans. They're androids. Like every single person here is an android. And you know what really confused me, and I think this is one part that confuses everyone. You know, we refer to the Yorha members as androids, and then we refer to the resistance camp members as resistance camp members, or stuff like that. So that kind of brings in like a divide, and like I kind of I think that most of us kind of misunderstand that, and we think that the only androids here is the Yorha members. No, the truth is every single character is an android and machine life forms. The resistance members are all androids. The commander, every single character is an android here. But the ones that fight, they are the Yorha members. They are also android, but they are there to fight. They're like they're the Yorha members. So it's not that the ones that are fighting are only androids. Everyone is an android. The ones that are fighting are Yorha members. That's the main thing. And I feel like this is one thing that confuses a lot of people. And the fact that the game or the anime here never really tells you directly at your face that, oh, these characters are also androids. They just let it happen, and we have to figure it out on our own. Also, another reason why I feel like a lot of people mistakes this is because a lot of people has started NieR is like their first thing that they have played, that Yoko Taro have made. There's a lot of other things that Yoko Taro have made before this. I think the Drakengard series, there's like 3 of them, and then we have NieR Replicant, which came out, obviously the remake came out after Automata, which I still haven't played, and then Automata. So Replicant happens before Automata, and I feel like a lot of people, most people who have played Replicant will know that these are everyone is an android, because there's a few things I know that kind of makes it extremely clear that the humans are not there anymore. All of the humans that we thought were alive were all in the moon, and by the end of it turns out the moon was also a complete a complete lie. There's nothing in the moon. There's just a database system and some DNA genome. That's it. That's all there is in the moon. So humans are not alive anymore. Everything is in androids and machine life forms. But since we have most of us have started from Automata, none of us know that or realize that up until the very end, I think. So I think this is a big confusion that a lot of people goes through, and I also had this confusion up until very recently. But then I got to realize after watching the anime properly, and I was like, oh, so these are all androids. So yeah, that's another interesting thing. So when you see this episode, it's extremely clear that everyone is an android. As you can see, literally Jackass's body is half, and it's wires coming out. Lily's part of the face is completely destroyed, and the metal part is out. So yeah, that's the thing. So there you go, and that was today's episode. Good episode. Let's wait and see what happens in the next one. And yeah, there you go. That is it. That was my reaction to episode number 21 of NieR Automata. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to press the like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, or you haven't subscribed. Comment down below anything you want to say, anything you want to let me know. I'll check them out. That is it, guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next week with another episode of NieR Automata. Until then, goodbye and have a nice day.